Alright everybody, welcome back to First Attack. I'm James Chen here, going over some casual matches here, trying to help a lot of the people who don't know how to play high-level Street Fighter, kind of show them how they should be thinking during a match, and just kind of how your mindset is. Now, during the little break here, I was talking to some people in the stream chat, and someone pointed out to me that, hang on a second, let me make sure of something. Yeah, okay. Someone asked me about Marvel, can I do this with Marvel? And I said I'm not that good at Marvel, it's hard for me to play. And in fact, I'm sitting here spouting all this advice, like you should always be looking at your opponent, you should always be paying attention to them, always figuring out what they're doing, etc., etc., etc. I've talked about this on a previous episode. My problem with Marvel is I'm such a training mode monster that when I play Marvel, I don't care what my opponent is doing. So I will jump up with Doom and throw finger lasers even though my opponent has a Vajra assist ready to destroy me. I just forget. So even though I'm sitting here and I can do this in Street Fighter and I can play by trying to pay attention to what my opponent is doing, as soon as I go over to a game I'm less familiar with, what do? I panic. I stop caring what my opponent's doing and I just try stuff. And it happens. It happens to everybody. And so, again, you know, if you watch this and you're like, holy crap, this is what I do, I suck. No, that is not the case at all. This is 100% something that happens to everybody who plays fighting games. And it takes a very long time. And it actually takes also a long time of familiarity with the game to be able to get to that point. So don't worry about it if you feel like you're watching this and you're like, man, this is not how I think. I don't know if I could ever do this. And then you go, or don't be discouraged if you watch this and you're like, that makes so much sense. And you go online and you just don't pay attention to your opponent and they blow you up. And you're like, why don't I think about this kind of thing and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's going to happen. Don't get discouraged. That's the one hardest thing about fighting games, is not to get discouraged. If it's something that you really want to get good at, you can do it. But sometimes it takes a lot of, you know, repetition. Sometimes you have to have things beat into you, you know, and that's the way it works with games like this. So let's keep going here with the match. Let's get going here. Alright, so he's playing against the Poison. Alright, so even before the match starts, I see Poison, Ultra 1. Okay. So the few things that I'm going to already say to myself is that I am a great zoning character with Ryu. Poison is probably a better zoning character. Her Fireball probably has a little bit more effectiveness against mine. So what would I do before I start this match? So when you don't know how the opponent plays, the first thing that you do is start establishing matchup knowledge. I don't know much about this matchup, to be honest with you. I don't even know how it is. I don't know who wins this one. But just judging from what I've seen, I would imagine it's probably going to be a pretty slow and even fight. It's going to be fireballs from across the screen, and one person's going to try to get in on the other person. So what I would do to start off this match is I would go backwards, play a zoning game, see if I can bait the Poison into not playing her zoning game, see if she turns out to be like that last evil Ryu that I just played, and see if she's super offensive. If I can trick her out of her zoning fireball game, then I can just blow her up with the fireball game. If she actually continues to fight with the fireballs, then I'll have to think about what to do at that point. So here we go. So let's see the match. Like I said, I would pirate, huh? Someone pre-ordered this on Amazon.com. So what I would do right away, like I said, is go backwards and throw fireballs. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's a good start. Okay, perfect here. Now what we see here is we are playing this fireball game. He missed the fireball. Input code happens to everybody. Panics, jump backwards, land on the fireball. Whatever, it's okay. She's playing this fire. Okay, she didn't go for any pressure. So at this point in time, I would probably test her patience. I would keep throwing fireballs, to be honest with you. I would just keep trying to throw fireballs and see if I could pull her out of this game. Because the thing about it is, remember what I just said. I want to throw a lot of fireballs at Poison to see if she attacks me. Because if she doesn't play her fireball game, then I win, right? Now let's think about it from the opposite end. If she starts throwing fireballs and you decide to try to attack and get in, you're letting her win now. You're doing exactly you're basically doing what you wanted to for her. So now you're going to jump in there and you're going to start making mistakes. At this point in time, my read on this poison is that she's a very, very defensive character. This is a very defensive player, I should say. Not even character, player. It's a very defensive player. So what I am going to do is try to see how patient she is. I've got 91 seconds left on the clock. There is no hurry at all. So I'm going to take my time to try to get some more reads here. Alright, she's throwing fireballs. Okay, she's coming in there because I got in there. And now he got a perfect jump. He jumped over. He just didn't get the combo properly. He didn't get the punish properly. That's whatever the case is. But again, for me, I would have stayed back, played a little bit more fireballs. You did see that she started coming in because he came in. So I think what she's trying to do is push him into a range where she can get defensive again and start throwing fireballs. Doesn't work for her. He misses the jump punish, even on the great read. Regardless, okay, so now she's blocked fireball. Key moment here. She's blocked a fireball. What is she going to do? She did nothing. File that away. Put that into the memory banks. After she blocked the fireball, she did nothing. Again, all leaning towards a very defensive player. No reason to throw an uppercut there. No reason to throw an uppercut there. Okay, get hit out of the air. Throwing fireballs. She backs off, throwing fireballs again. Okay, so we're throwing fireballs. Okay, good. She jumped over. Fortunately, didn't get hit by much of a combo, but now you can see she is willing to jump if she throws a lot of fireballs. Now, in a lot of situations, you may have taken a lot of damage. And this, again, is exactly why I say this all the time. Whenever we watch players like Alex Valle play fighting games, I say this all the time. If you guys watch enough Wednesday Night Fights or Run Back or any of these top 8s, I say this all the time because it's so important. Yes, in that situation, even Valle might have thrown 3 fireballs in a row. And let's say he's playing against the best poison in the world, like Broly legs, right? And let's say Broly jumps over that fireball and does this huge chunk of damage on him. It doesn't matter. They gained so much information from that because they found out that poison was willing to jump over fireballs. Right? So that is why Valle and players like Justin and Ricky and all these guys can look so vulnerable in the first few rounds and then all of a sudden destroy them in the next few rounds. And that is because they are willing to eat damage early on for information. He got information. Not only that, Villafaris didn't even get hit that badly by the combo. So, you know what? Information gained, not much damage taken. Perfect. But again, perfect example how even that one little situation right there should be information. Remember when I said file into the back of your brain? This should be happening all the time. File information, file information, file information. Should just be happening constantly during a match. Every little thing that happens should be information. Okay, so we go back to a fireball game. Now, right there, that's Poison's game. She's got 3 speeds of fireballs. You're going to be landing on them all day, right? Remember, she has Ultra 1. She gains Ultra 1, becomes even scarier to jump over fireballs because if you land on one, she can combo into Ultra 1. So, very careful. So you can kind of see now she's willing to play multiple speed fireballs. And you see, she just goes for a meaty fireball, comes in for some pressure. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so this is a very, very key moment here in this match. You're down in life, there's 70 seconds, you've kind of established that she likes to play this fireball game from a screen away. What's your game plan? What are you supposed to do right now? Obviously, her fireball game is a little bit better than Ryu's fireball game. And whether or not that's true or not, like I said, I don't know the match very well. Her fireball game is outplaying my fireball game right now. So what do I do in this situation? Where am I going to get my damage? This is where I always talk about game plan. Game plan, game plan, game plan. Someone in the chat says EX fireball. That's fine, but look at my meter. I have 1 bar. I throw that EX Fireball, I knock her down, what does that get me? It's not going to be huge, right? You got to think a little bit more long term. If you have some crazy rush down planned, yeah, throw the EX Fireball, knock her down, and go for crazy frame traps and stuff like that. If that's what you want to go for, that's actually a completely valid game plan. So if that's your decision, throw an EX Fireball, knock her down, chase after her, and go nuts. Go nuts, right? But, so that's one game plan. Another game plan, we've already seen she's willing to jump over fireballs once you start playing that kind of game. So you know what? 70 seconds left in the round, plenty of time, 2 fierce uppercuts, and it's pretty much an even match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back and try to bait her into into jumping over my fireball so I can uppercut her. That's second idea for a game plan. Third idea for a game plan would be bait her into the fireball game so I can jump over and punish her. I have jumped over a fireball one time. She doesn't have Ultra yet, so it's not that dangerous. This is the tricky part right now. Which do you pick? Which of these choices do you go with? Which one do you go for, right? And at this point in time, this is why I said this is such a key moment in this match, because now you have to establish a game plan. And I just came up with 3 of them. Well, I came up with 2 of them, but to be fair, Croton came up with the 3rd one, which was the EX Fireball, which at first I kind of dismissed, but I was wrong. I'm absolutely wrong. Absolutely valid strategy. He's right, because it could totally pay off in spades if he wants to go for the offensive route, right? So here we go. What are the 3 game plans? Which one do you choose? At this point, it's just what you feel more comfortable with. For me, I would try to jump over one of her fireballs because, like I said, she can't damage me that badly right now. She doesn't have an Ultra, and the payoff would be pretty good. But in order to establish that game, you have to get her comfortable into throwing fireballs. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to sit back, chuck a few fireballs at her, and fake around, kind of play the anti-air game, but at the same time, play I want to jump over her fireball game. So what I'm going to do is throw a couple of fireballs, see if she jumps or not. If she doesn't fall for it, then I'm going to go for my own jump. Again, I'm not just going to jump willy-nilly. I have a game plan to get me the jump in. I'm not going to just sit there and walk up and be like, okay, I got to predict the fireball. I got to predict the fireball. Now! That's not going to work. You have to get them comfortable. You have to understand their rhythm. You have to understand their pattern. So go ahead and throw a couple of fireballs in there. But let's see what actually happens here. He throws the EX Fireball. So he goes with Croton's plan. And damn it, Poison's Fireball recovers way too damn fast. And she ends up blocking it. God, that's so frustrating. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at that, dude, that's ridiculous. Okay, so that didn't work. So immediately I jump. And this is bad again, because basically if I was Poison and I blocked that EX Fireball, I'm like, okay, he just threw a Hail Mary EX Fireball at me. And it didn't work. Frustration. Frustration. That is a sign of frustration. That is a frustration point. It's like if frustration was like little needles, someone's jabbing into your arm, someone put a little needle into the arm right there. Having that EX Fireball not work is a frustration raiser. Sometimes playing these fighting games is super important to understand the frustration raisers, because that's exactly how you can take advantage of your opponent. I mentioned it in the last one, how when Evil Ryu dashed into a fireball, that was a frustration raiser. I stuck a needle into his arm, and it's like, ow, it's not going to kill me, but damn, that's annoying, and it hurt when you did that. So now you're frustrated, so he jumps, right? Same thing happens here. EX Fireball got blocked. I predicted the fireball. I threw an EX Fireball. She blocked it. Now I'm frustrated, so I jump. And that's exactly what happens. Now, if the Poison was good, Poison would anti-air with a low fierce right here. Or an uppercut, but at this range, probably low fierce. She throws a fireball. So, everything that I said was incorrect. He throws the fireball, right? So Poison throws the fireball. Doesn't mean I was wrong. That's my assessment. And again, this is a perfect situation right here. This is exactly how Street Fighter goes. A lot of times you make these reads and you're wrong, right? And that just happens. And so in this particular situation, Villafaris does the absolute right thing. And he had a great read here. And I would have lost my opportunity. She would have thrown a fireball, and I'd be like, God damn it, why didn't I jump? Why didn't I jump? But it didn't happen that way. So that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And so you just keep going with the match. However, Villafaris did jump, so he did get the damage. Let's see if he finishes his combo. Yes. But, here is the mistake right there. Before... Yeah, absolutely true. Everything I said was incorrect, but doesn't mean I was wrong. Wonderful thing about Street Fighter, man. Wonderful thing about Street Fighter. But here was the problem here. If you did jump in and you were predicting to go over the fireball, you should already have jump roundhouse, low forward, hurricane in your head. You should already have that punish in mind. So that way, if you had done hurricane, he would have taken her all the way to the corner, did more damage, knocked her down, had more situation. Again, when I was developing that game plan, that's also part of it. If my game plan was to jump over the fireball, my whole point of jumping over the fireball is to land the hurricane combo and get her into the corner. So, bad combo there. Again, we've seen this a couple of times from Villafaris here. Panic uppercut. Just emergency uppercuts after. No reason to do that. But she jumped. Again, I wouldn't have done that. And I might have blocked that jump because I wasn't expecting her to jump. Villafaris gets the uppercut in there. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. So he goes for the meaty here. So he's still down in life lead. And there's still 60 seconds left. So this is not a terrible choice. I personally would have gone in for a little more pressure because I would have liked to have tried to get the life lead. Maybe even just go for a random overhead, get the life lead and jump away. I don't know. Something. I would have went in for a little bit more pressure. But instead, Villafaris stays back. And you see, right here, this is what I mean by game plan. If you have a game plan, getting in by jumping over the fireball means you get in. And once you're in, you try to do a lot of the damage, right? Here we see kind of a conflict of ideas. He jumped in, punished her, and then gets the knockdown on the uppercut, then immediately goes back and throws a fireball. I mean, this could be a situation where you're trying to reset the situation, but in my opinion, this is kind of one of those... not quite sure what to do moments here. So he's going to sit back here, tries to jump over and punishes, but you can see already that there's a little bit of hesitation in Villafaris' game. He doesn't have a game plan here. He doesn't know what he's going for. So he's going to block a fireball, block that. Okay, after you block the sweep, key moment. Are you going to throw a fireball? Is she going to throw a fireball? Are either of you going to jump? Both people did nothing, but then he threw a fireball and... Actually, to Poison's credit, very good read on that timing there. You see that little bit of delay here. And this is really important here. I want people, when I talk about key moments, feel the rhythm of this particular situation. I mean, it's very musical. It's very musical. Watch. It's like, okay, here we go. Fireball, block, sweep, right? It was on the offbeat. So key moment, offbeat. Key moment, offbeat. Everyone who plays at a casual level does everything generally kind of on the main beat, but the offbeat is very important. I actually want to do a whole entire episode on that, so I won't go into too much detail. But there's a very much of a rhythm of how all the moments fit in with each other. And it's very important in fighting games to figure out whether something happens on rhythm or off rhythm. So if something happens right at a key moment, that is on rhythm. So if you punch someone out of the air and they land right next to you and they land an uppercut, that's on rhythm, right? Now think about that for a second. Okay, let me talk about it a little bit here. Sorry. Oh, jeez. Do I want to save this? Oh. Let's say you want to go for a throw. If you do it on rhythm, right at the key moment, the uppercut's going to beat you. If you do it off rhythm, so that they land, wait, throw, if they uppercut, you block. If they don't uppercut, most likely they weren't going to uppercut, right? Most likely they're not going to do anything. They're not going to uppercut because they're scared, so your offbeat throw will actually grab them. That's actually a strategy that I learned in CVS2. I saw Vi do this a lot. He would do offbeat meaties. He wouldn't do meaties on wake up. He would apply pressure the instant after they wake up, because usually someone either does a reversal at that on beat as soon as they get up, or they don't do anything at all. So Vi would always let them get up, then hit a low strong. But if they did do a wake up super, what most likely would happen is the super freeze would eat his input and he wouldn't even have to worry about it. So it's very important that you kind of keep in mind this whole concept of rhythm and off rhythm on key moments and stuff like that. Okay, back to the match. Jump backwards, throw fireball. Always an obvious thing. Whenever you jump backwards, don't throw a fireball right away. Really test your opponent. Fortunately, good distance, not going to get punished too bad. So goes for a sweep here again. Doesn't get anything off of that. And again, that neutral jump. Again, that neutral jump. I would try to break that habit, Vila Ferris. I would really try to stop using the neutral jump so much. Okay, so he's a screen away here. Throws fireball, gets back in here. You have enough time to react to this jump, I think, but unfortunately didn't happen there. Again, not a huge amount of punish because I think the poison thought that she was going to get uppercut as well. Jumps again. Okay, good. Anti-air. Okay, now you're walking in for pressure and you backed off and you did nothing. Okay, maybe you were trying to bait out an uppercut, but the problem with it is you backed off too soon. You get the uppercut here. You walk up and you kind of backed up before she had to do her uppercut. So it's kind of a sign that you're a little bit running away. If you're going to back off like that, the best thing to do right now is to walk forward, throw. Like back off early, they go, oh, he's not going to meaty, and then you walk forward and throw because they're not going to wake up uppercut because you sent that signal. Now, of course, at the highest levels, then it's like, well, I knew you knew that I knew that you knew that I knew, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Neutral jumps are not bad. Neutral jumps are not bad, Carnage. Let me explain. In these particular situations when he's neutral jumping, it's not getting him anything. It's not actually benefiting him. He's a screen away and he's neutral jumping, and it's not really, there's really no part of the game plan, right? If he's going to throw fireballs, if he's going to jump over fireballs, or if he's going to try to bait her to jump, the neutral jump doesn't do anything. If you're playing against someone like Fei Long or Bison who have these quick dashes at you that attack from the front, neutral jumps are very important. But in this particular situation, that's not what you're looking for, so it's not a particularly useful situation here. Okay, here we go. So sweep, yep, punishable. Lose the reliance on low roundhouse. That's another piece of advice, Vila Ferris. Again, kind of a panic button there, that low roundhouse. You have a couple of panics, which is fierce uppercut and low roundhouse. I would work on trying to pull those back a little bit. In those panic situations, low forward fireball is actually a better panic than low roundhouse. Low roundhouse is fast and it knocks down, so it's good, but it also has huge delay and very punishable. So you have to use it sparingly unless you're really confident with it. So I'm getting a question here. How do you counter fireball spam when you have to charge for yours, like with Chun-Li though? You can Hazanshu, but if you don't go over to the fireball, you're going to get knocked down. If you're a charge character and you're Chun-Li and you're trying to play this fireball game with them, honestly, you can't, right? And obviously, you already know that. But in this particular situation, neutral jump is good. See? Because it pulls into your game. So let's say you have a life lead and Ryu's across the screen throwing fireballs at you and you're Chun-Li. And you're going Sonic Boom, you're going Kikoken, 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 and you know you cannot Kikoken the next one. If he throws a fireball, then you neutral jump, immediately start charging, you're gonna land, and then you can kind of go back into the Kikoken. So what the neutral jump is doing is it's giving you a chance to charge up for the next fireball and avoid the current one that's coming at you. So that's fine. So in that case, neutral jump is perfect. If you are losing and he sits there and throws a lot of fireballs at you, if you're a character like Chun-Li, neutral jumping over fireball still works pretty good because it allows you to go forward. Focus dash, focus forward and dash through. Very good for Chun-Li because her dash is so fast. And Hazanshu over a fireball might be okay, but you have a lot of delay when you land, so it's not particularly useful. So I would honestly think about using a regular fireball, stopping his, and then when he throws another fireball, walk forward and neutral jump so you gain some space. Or throw an EX fireball so it erases his fireball, the second one keeps going, use that as a shield. Or, like I said, let him throw a fireball, focus, dash forward, and get through. But again, these are all game plans. These are all character knowledge matchup things that you want to know. So, and of course, Broly Legs here says that Hazanshu you can actually do an early Hazanshu, get over a fireball, and stay charged. So not only is Broly the best poison in the world, but he's also the best Chun-Li in the world. So thank you for the advice there. Alright, so let's keep going with this match. Sorry, this is taking a very long time here. Let's keep going here. Alright, so situation here. This is bad. 30-some seconds left here. You are down in a huge amount of life. Again, panic button, low roundhouse. Panic button, low roundhouse. Watch out. So if you're Goken, this is whatever. You see Velociraptor do this all the time, and he gets away with it because Goken's low roundhouse is so good. It's so good, you can't punish it. So, but Ryu, this is not the case. So it's a dangerous panic button to use. If you're Velociraptor and you're Goken, you can sweep to your heart's content. Alright, so he jumps backwards here, throws another fireball. So he's falling for this pattern again and again. Let's go back and I talked a bunch here. So let's see what happened here. So jumped over a fireball, right? Jump backwards, throw a fireball, jumped over it. Okay, kind of a neutral jump there. Alright, jumped over a fireball again. Okay, she got uppercut out of the air, and then nothing happened here, like I said. Sweeps him, fireball, sweep, and then jumps over a fireball. You can kind of see where her game is now. This is a read. This is a tell. She is going crazy with these jumps. If I got hit by this, and I probably would have, if I got hit by this because I threw that fireball at this point in time, now what I'm going to do here is look at my meter here. I have 35 seconds left. I need to come back. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this at this particular situation? How am I going to make my comeback? I only have 35 seconds left. I don't want to spend my meter. I have an ultra combo. How am I going to land my ultra combo? Here's a little tip. Here's a pro tip for you guys. Know every single way you can land your ultra combo. Know every single way you can land your ultra combo. So important. And know exactly how much meter you need. So in this situation, what I would do is she has jumped over like 4 fireballs in a row. What's my mind? Bait her to jump, early jab uppercut, hit her with the tip of my fist, land an ultra. That is what I would do in my mind. That is exactly what my comeback plan is. Again, I could be wrong. What if she doesn't jump at me? I may lose another 10 seconds trying to hope she jumps at me. If she doesn't, well played to her. Well played to her. She noticed I noticed something and didn't fall for it. Good stuff to her. It happens. The thing that makes better players better than others is that they're usually right because they understand human psychology so well. And that comes with a lot of experience, and it also just comes from just being really smart and understanding how the game works. Let's see here. See, again, jump backwards, baited her to jump. Would have been a perfect opportunity to do exactly what I said. So right here, sweep. What I would have done here is just jump backwards, wait. See, she's jumping every time you jump backwards, so that's a huge opportunity to kill her. Again, she jumped forward again. So that's twice now that my trick would have worked. But here he comes, okay, good stuff. He's going for the offense, he goes for the throw, and then he backdashes. Okay, get in there, jump backwards. Now he's throwing the farm. Now he just used an EX meter. Could have been very useful for round 2, but he spent it there at a period of time which wasn't particularly useful. Okay, she jumps forward again, gets the throw. Alright, so at this point in time, 10 seconds left. You have a life deficit, but not by much. Let me ask this chat here. Okay, let me ask this chat this question here. Who do you think is more nervous right now? Who is more nervous? Is Ryu more nervous or is Poison more nervous in this situation? Most likely, Poison is going to be more nervous because she's knocked down. There's only 10 seconds. For all intents and purposes, she should be winning this round, and she is prime position right now to lose. So at this point in time, you want to play on the nervousness. So what's the nervous? What are you going to play on? Probably a frame trap. Frame trap would be a really good idea right now. But again, that's a little bit higher level. But again, The reason why I point this out is not whether or not anyone's going to succeed or fail at this point in time. The whole concept is that you are reading the situation. You are always reading the moment. You're always trying to understand what's going on and what people are thinking. If you play this game in a void that it's just Ryu and Poison on a screen and you're doing stuff, it's going to be hard to get to that next level in Street Fighter. So he does meaty focus, and again, he does a wake-up flip kick. I don't even know if that's invincible. In any case, not a great situation, but he gets a sweep here again. He has a perfect opportunity to take advantage of that same nervousness that he set, backs off, tries to do meaty ultra, and I'm just going to say this right now. Ultras are never good to throw in situations like that. Never good situations. Meaty focuses are also not good. But see, again, it's just kind of a panic situation. It's kind of a nervous situation. But see, that's the thing. You're playing nervous because you're like, I need to make this comeback. But if you recognized it and you saw it in the chat, as soon as I asked that question, everybody typed Poison. Everybody kind of understood that Poison was more nervous. Now, of course, all of you are going to say, yeah, of course Poison's more nervous. What the hell's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Dude, if we watch this in real time, you might not have picked up on that. It's only because I asked the question at that point in time. It's very hard to do all this boom, 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 boom right there in your head. It's so hard. It's so hard to do quickly. But that's what a lot of good players are good at because they're in these situations all the time. So I'm going to take a quick break before, and then we'll finish this game out here, and then that'll probably it for the rest of the night. And afterwards, I'll talk about this after I'm done with this. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll finish this game out right after this, okay? Be right back. Okay, back to the match at hand here. And yes, actually, Justice, for the record, dude, did you see the last selfie that Ricky tweeted? Holy crap. Whew. I mean, seriously. My God. I mean, seriously. Okay, let's continue on with this match here. So back to... Okay, so just lost the first round. What information have we gained? Okay, very willing to play this zoning kind of game. So you gotta have to play into the game. You kind of have to play into Poison's game in order to win. This is the hardest part. So in other words, you kind of have to play this fireball game, even though necessarily it's not a great thing. But you know, you're kind of playing into her strength so that you can get her to feel confident about throwing fireballs and jumping over your fireballs so that you can damage her. Try to get the life lead, get her nervous, so continue to beat up on her. So let's keep going. Okay, so immediately walks up, okay, blocks, jump backwards, and establishes fireball game. She jumps forward, okay. Now, I wouldn't jump forward necessarily here because, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily have, but it looks like it's gonna work if he did jumping forward. He did. Okay, good stuff. Gets the combo. Doesn't get the full combo. Not a problem. Combos come with time. So here we go again. Low roundhouse, and let's throw fireballs. And again, jump backwards fireball. One of the most common patterns. If we want to talk about fighting game patterns, jump backwards fireball. It's #1 on the list. One of the most common jump back, one of the patterns. In fact, it's such a pattern, and I've told the story on a previous episode before, is that I was playing against a friend and I would jump back and just sit there and my opponent wouldn't jump at me and I'd uppercut him. Then I'd jump backwards and he'd jump at me and I'd uppercut him. Because he always expected me to throw a fireball when I jump backwards. And I looked at him and I was like, you do realize that you jump at me every time I jump backwards, right? And he was like, no, I don't. And I was like, okay, fine. So we're sitting there playing, I jumped backwards, and right when I landed, I said, jump! And he walked forward and jumped, and he was like, oh my God! And sure enough, he did it. So again, patterns both ways, you gotta recognize these patterns. So. Anyways, jump backwards, throw fireballs. Okay, so he's trying to get away. Now the poison is strangely aggressive. This is going to throw me off. If I am Villafaris right now, I am thrown off by this. 100%. I am actually kind of confused by this. She's going a little offensive here. Panic button, low roundhouse. Not what you want to do. And you've seen how many times that he's blocked the low roundhouse. So if you have that read that's like, you know what, he likes to block my low roundhouse. Next time you feel like low roundhousing, walk up and throw. Might work, might not. But it's that's a good read. Anyways, she blocks the throw. She walks up, gets the throw. All right, so what's the defensive situation? Meaty fireball. So wake up and block. Goes for the overhead. Okay, lots of us, 90% of us would have gotten hit by that overhead. She hasn't done it yet. Okay, goes for the sweep. All right, that happens a lot of times. Overhead and the sweep works. Okay, just goes for a meaty fierce. She jumps back, throws fireball. So that was smart. That was actually a pretty decent read that, you know, she was going to jump back and throw a fireball. She's not immune to the pattern as well. She did it. Unfortunately, Poison's fireball is just really, really annoying to jump over because she has so many different speeds. So you landed on the fireball. That sucks. And so you're just like, damn it. Block fireball, get swept. Alright, see, now here's a key thing right now. This is the point in the game in which you reset. Calm down. Let's recap this little sequence here. Look how much life Ryu has right now. We're at 88 seconds on the clock. He gets thrown here. Okay, overhead sweep. Fierce, jump backwards. Okay, you landed on a fireball. Oh, you got swept again. Throw fireball. Okay, you get traded. Okay. That was a really bad sequence because in 15 seconds, you went from full life to about 45%. Things did not go your way. And remember how I talked about sticking those needles in your arm about the frustration level? You've got like 15 needles in the arm right now because that had to have been super frustrating. That had to have been super annoying. If I was Ryu, I would be super annoyed right now because everything just went the wrong way. So at this point in time, what I would do is I would try to reset the situation and calm myself down. Which kind of looks like what he does. He jumps backwards and throws fireballs. Okay, this is good. Get back here and throw fireballs. And see, that neutral jump didn't work for her very well either, right? So, okay, EX fireball, you block it. And she's starting to walk forward again. So this is something that's kind of very key here. So what? She blocks that, throws an EX fireball. Now she starts to walk forward. This is an offensive trigger. If you're only looking at your own character, you're like, I blocked this fireball, what do I feel like doing now? If you're playing this fighting game, if you're playing Street Fighter, if you're playing high-level fighting games, you see her walk forward, and that is now a message. She's trying to get some sort of position, or she's trying to jump over my fireball. Something about her play is a little more offensive all of a sudden, so I should not throw a fireball here. I should maybe look for a jump or see if she walks up and throws another fireball. And she jumps. And again, no anti-air. And so if you're not ready for a jump, you're not going to anti-air. Okay, panic button, low roundhouse. Okay, I get the jump attack in here. Again, panic uppercut. Like I said, you got to watch out for those. You can see now, I mean, it's kind of interesting. Your low roundhouses have not been connecting. The fierce uppercuts have not been connecting. Just overall, in general. This is something that's really good about going back and watching your own matches. You've noticed that a lot of these things that you do aren't connecting. Your low roundhouse isn't connecting, your fierce uppercut isn't connecting. So, take them out of your game. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. And watch your match again, and if you see it happen again, just be like, why did I do that again? Why am I still doing that? And then just get to the point where you notice. See, not only do you have to pick up the patterns on your opponents, you have to pick up your own patterns as well. So in these situations right here, you have to realize those fierce uppercuts after a fireball aren't working, and your panic low roundhouses aren't working. So if they're not working, they should either be modified or they should be taken out of your game and maybe put back in later on when they start to apply a little bit more. But unfortunately, you know, without either A, someone pointing this out to you, 2, you noticing it yourself, or 3, rewatching your matches and seeing them, you might not ever learn this. You might just end up doing this forever, you know, and it's tough. It's tough. I did the same thing when I was playing against Justin. when he was Fei Long, every time I blocked his focus attack, I would backdash. Like every single time. He would focus attack, dash forward, I would backdash. And he just did that over and over again. He's like, you know you backdash there every single time? And I was like, really? And he's like, yes, 100%. You always backdash there. And, you know, if he never pointed out to me, I wouldn't have noticed. Honestly, wouldn't have noticed. I would have just kept doing it for the rest of my life. So it's the way it works, man. I mean, it's tough. And this is why it's kind of important to go back and watch some of your matches. And like I said, I'm super hypocrite mode on that because I'm so bad at watching my matches because it's tough. It's rough. It's hard watching yourself lose. But it can be very educational. So, all right, let's keep going. Okay, overhead again, sweep. Okay, good counter sweep. All right, gets the throw in here. Now, you got a lot of meter here. You're also down and you're losing. Now is not the time to be bashful for meter. So you look at this situation, you're like, I have this much meter. Uppercut, FADC, Ultra, low forward, EX Fireball, FADC dash forward, Ultra, maybe even uppercut into super. There's a lot of options here. So what's the situation? I just got the throw. What mix-up do I want? And this is a rough situation because now on the fly, you got to pick something. You got to pick something. Cross-up, do you go for cross-up Hurricane into super? Do you go for walk-up, meaty, low-strong, frame trap, low-forward, EX Fireball, FADC, blah, blah? Do you do low-strong, take a step, uppercut, FADC, ultra frame trap? What do you do in this situation? And really in this situation, it's your choice. It's what you feel. This is where the reads come in. This is where the guessing game is. This is what separates the good Street Fighter players from the bad ones. Because in this situation, you have to have an idea of what you want to do. You got to pick one, and you got to execute it. I've already given 3 ideas. Like I said, cross-up Hurricane into super, frame trap with an uppercut, or frame trap with low forward. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so he goes for the meaty focus again. So this is obviously a kind of panic. Again, another one of those panic situations. I'm just gonna say this right now. Just don't ever do meaty focus. It's not good. You have to have a really good read for that to work very, very well. But see how my mindset worked. As soon as she got knocked down, I'm already thinking I have to pick one of these things to win the round now, because I'm in prime position. The next combo will probably almost kill her, if not kill her. So I really have to have this whole thing ready to go. So unfortunately, not really much of a game plan. Not looking at his meter, not trying to judge the situation. And see, if in the first rounds he went for a couple of frame traps, you'd have some really good reads. Like, just do jump roundhouse, walk up throw. If he throw techs it, you know, do low strong walk up throw. If he throw techs it, whatever. You just got information. He's a throw techer, so that just means you can get a better chance of landing frame traps and stuff like that. You gotta build this information. You gotta build all this stuff up. So even if you walk up and do low strong and then try to, like, let's say you do low strong walk up and you try to throw him and he mashes out an uppercut and punches you and you take a chunk of damage and he somehow FADCs it into ultra and takes the round. Doesn't matter, you got information. You got to get information early on, especially for tournaments, which are 2 out of 3, because then the information you get lasts you 2 whole games. Unfortunately, online, you're not very well taught this, because what ends up happening is you just play one game and move on, play one game and move on. But if you want to do well in tournaments, you have to understand how building all this knowledge helps. Okay. Here we go. So, screen away. What's the trick now? What's the... Ooh. Ow. I didn't even know that worked. Good stuff to poison. Alright. EX Fireball. Try to chip him out. Doesn't chip him. Alright. What's the situation? EX Fireball. EX trade. Okay. You used 1 bar, so you have 3 now. What's your goal? What is your goal? What's your game plan right now? I would probably throw another fireball, try to maybe pretend I'm scared so I can get an uppercut FADC, get her to jump at me. Okay, he walks forward here. Oh, he gets the jump attack. Uh-oh, okay, this is a big mistake on her part. Oh, walk backwards, meaty EX fireball, walk backwards, jump backwards. See, again, that was the opening. That was the moment that you needed to go in there and get the damage and basically win the round. That was your moment to win the round because you got the knockdown and you didn't take that opportunity. And unfortunately, I'm going to guess he loses this round here at this point because this is a rough situation again. Yeah, it's going to be too slow. And she's going to get over there, and that's it. Yep. And there it is. Raw ultras in general are almost never a good idea. It's kind of an unfortunate bait on the game's system that you actually see ultra and you're like, I need to land this ultra to do comebacks. Ultras generally, remember what I said earlier, know all the ways that you can combo into your ultra. That's more important than anything. And know how much meter it takes to land that ultra. That's how you land ultras. If you watch high level play, raw ultras, I would say, are at a 95% failure rate. And me and David are always like, well, I guess you gotta try, or oh, I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. And when it does work, it's like, that's why we're so shocked and hyped when it works, because it's one of those things that should just never work. It should just never work, right? So, again, I mean, I hope what you've obtained from this is just kind of, while you're playing the game, what kind of things that I'm noticing, what kind of conclusions I'm coming up to, recognizing key moments, and every time you reach a key moment and you see the reaction, that gets filed into your brain. He didn't jump, filed into the brain. This time he did jump, filed into the brain. This time he didn't jump, filed into the brain. You see what I'm saying? It's like everything that happens builds up to the next point in the match. It should always be there. It should always be building. It should always be compiling information. Not only that, what you start to learn, and this is where guys like Daigo and Vi and stuff, and players of that caliber get really good, because you start recognizing, once you start compartmentalizing these kind of players, like the evil Ryu player, Spaz, likes to dash forward, likes to go crazy, likes to jump a lot. You start compartmentalizing the things that triggered that knowledge to you, and you can start recognizing them that much faster. And even within 10 seconds of the first round, you can figure out how your opponent plays. And then once you figure out how they play, a lot of the times, then you can, don't kill them right away. Don't just go nuts. Like, for example, let's say you figured out that evil Ryu was a crazy dasher, right? Okay, I'm going to bait him into uppercutting. I'm going to bait him into jumping at me so I can uppercut him. Uppercutted him. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a cross-up into a frame trap. I'm just going to go for a throw. I want to see if he techs. I want to see if he mashes low short. I want to see if he mashes uppercut. I just want to gather information. I've already compartmentalized them in here, but now I'm just gathering information. Because once you gather that information, that means, especially in a 2 out of 3 or in 3 rounds, the next 2 rounds, you can just destroy him because you've pretty much figured out all the stuff that he tends to do. The hardest part, and what makes Street Fighter so fun to play, is once you get to that point where you're reading your opponent and your opponent is reading you, and it really just becomes about that mind game. I mean, I hope you guys can picture that. Like, if you get to that point where you're looking at your opponent and you're like, okay, I've compartmentalized this, I've compartmentalized, he did this, but your opponent knows that you're compartmentalizing, so he's compartmentalizing your reactions, and it just becomes this mental tug of war, and it's so much fun. It is so much fun. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you, for everybody out there who plays Street Fighter, who gets frustrated, who has a hard time playing this game, who gets to that point where it's like, oh man, I hit this wall, I don't know what to do. Let me tell you, when you break that wall, the rewards are so fantastic. When you have that first game where suddenly you know everything that your opponent is going to do and you blow him up for it, like the whole game, it feels so fantastic. It's like epiphany, and like everything all of a sudden is just like, this is so good. This is amazing. This is amazing feeling. And then when you play against someone who's smart enough to challenge your brain, then it gets exciting. It gets really, really exciting. So it's a lot of fun. So I hope this episode helped a lot. I'd be definitely willing to analyze more matches, and you know, I would prefer to lean towards more beginner matches, because I really really want to help the beginners. There's a lot of information out there for the high level gameplays, and a lot of things are so high level that the beginners don't even know how to start using it yet. I've talked about frame traps, I've talked about all these like little subtle things, and you know what, Villafaris may not be ready for a lot of those higher level tactics. So, you know, I do want to get a lot of these videos so that I can kind of point out things to look for, things to understand, and just a really, really good way to just to how to look at the game, how to understand the mentality of the game. In the future, I want to actually do a different kind of how to look at the game, and just talking about boxes and spaces and stuff like that. So eventually I'll get there, but yeah, I mean, I hope this helped. I hope this was educational. I hope this made a lot of sense for a lot of players out there. I hope a lot of beginners watch this and it helps them and it means a lot to them. I hope this helped Villafaris, and trust me, I mean, it's with tough love that I'm so you know, harsh and critique. I mean, let me tell you guys, Villafaris did some awesome stuff for me already in the past. And I feel so bad because I haven't exactly been able to use all the hard work he's given me yet, and I super appreciate it. And he's an awesome dude. So again, I really hope I didn't come off too harsh on this. But seriously, he's an awesome guy. He did a lot of good work for me to help me with the wiki and stuff like that. Really cool guy. Seriously, everyone in the chat, please thank him for, you know, volunteering this video. And again, if you guys enjoyed this, you know, tweet at UltraChenTV. Let me know that you enjoyed this kind of thing. I can do more, and I can try to come up with a system by which I can actually, you know, pick more matches and go over more players' matches like this. I have another match that someone gave to me that I haven't watched yet that I may try to do this for as well. Because he asked so nicely, so that might be the next one if you guys enjoyed this kind of stuff. So again, thanks for checking this out. The reason why I've gone so long today, the reason why I've actually taken my time for this whole entire thing is because David couldn't make it today. There is no level 3 focus today, unfortunately. He's been so swamped with work, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I've been running through a lot of the same things too. So unfortunately, there's no level 3 focus. So this is the end of UltraChenTV today. But we will be back tomorrow for the Tuesday show. Definitely check that out. We're just going to be talking about stuff that's been going on in the fighting game community and such. So yeah, check that out, and make sure you subscribe on Twitch, please, at twitch.tv/UltraChenTV. Follow us on Twitter at UltraChen, and subscribe at youtube.com/UltraChen. All right, peace out, guys, and I will talk to you later.